Warning, the following video may contain adult language and themes. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. If you have a problem with this, please stop playing this video now. Okay, so I just got done watching Wrong Turn 3, Left 4 Dead. And let me just talk about the Wrong Turn series for a minute. I've seen the first two. I think there's a fourth, but I haven't seen it. So I guess after this one, I've seen three of them. I've seen 1, 2, and 3. I thought 1 was pretty good, 2 was not that great, and now we're on to this one. Well, it's got a 4.5 on Internet Movie Database, and I believe this was direct to DVD released in 2009. Let me just say, let me list the positives. I was actually really surprised with this movie. There are some really good effects in it. Especially considering it's the third installment and it's direct to DVD. You'd think it'd be absolute shit, but there are positives. Like I said, the effects are sometimes pretty good. There are some pretty good kills in it, and this movie knows what it is. It's not trying to be artistic. It's just trying to satisfy the visceral level. There are some tits in it. There is actually a lot of not a lot of nudity, but there are tits in it for those of you who are interested. In fact, like within I think the first 5 minutes, you see titties. So they really do try to satisfy the visceral level. They really do try to satisfy the carnage level. Now, what's bad about this movie? Oh my god. The acting. The acting is terrible. And the script is terrible. And also, some of the characters don't really act as they should, but that's probably a less serious gripe. But the acting and the script are just terrible, and I would say that they almost cancel out the positives. Like I was debating which was worse, the script or the acting, and I'd have to say the script is probably a little bit more terrible. But the acting and the script are both abysmal. Like I can't believe how bad they are, and they're not. The acting isn't so bad. It's not the kind of acting that's so bad it's good. It's just terrible. Like maybe in 20 years this acting will be considered so bad it's good, but for now it's just terrible. I can't believe how bad the acting is. It's just terrible. But the script is probably a little bit worse. Um, like like I said, there are moments where there's really good kills and really good gore effects and tits and ass. Well, not ass, but tits. But then there are these segments where you just go a long time where there's no kills, no tits, and it's just bad acting, bad script, bad. Oh my god. Probably the worst segments are when the convicts are arguing with each other, or just the characters in general are just arguing with each other, just over stupid bullshit. Like it's almost to the point where it gets to the point where it's just like the who's on first. Well, who's on first? That's what I'm trying to ask you. Who's on first? I mean, it's that sort of bad, like, dialogue where they're just bickering back and forth, not accomplishing anything. And to be quite honest, I think that dialogue where the convicts or the police are just, like, mouthing off to each other, it's really just to take up time because this movie is really short. It's only about an hour and a half, and even then it feels really padded with these segments where it's just terrible dialogue, terrible acting. So yeah, that's what I would say about, I think if the acting and the script were a little better, I'd actually say this is a hidden gem because, like I said, there is really good gore effects, especially for a direct-to-DVD horror movie, and there are some tits, you know. And concerning the minor gripe, like I said, some characters don't act as they should. There's this one convict in the movie, and I'll explain why there's convicts in a minute. But there's this one convict who's like the head convict, sort of. He's I believe he's Latino, but like dude, like if you want to play a drinking game, every time this convict guy, should kill someone and he doesn't, take a shot, and I swear to God, by the end of this movie, you will just be hammered. Like this Latino convict is supposed to be badass and all, and they pull him off as really badass, but like he does it so many times, like he doesn't kill somebody when he should. Like if you double cross this guy this many times in real life, if he was this badass, he would just cap you. He would just end you. Like, and he doesn't. He keeps letting people live. Like, oh my god. Okay, that's another minor gripe. So, my spoiler-free review, out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6.1. Like I said, it's just the horrible script and the horrible acting that really dragged this movie down. But, and if it weren't for the good effects and the tits, this would probably be I'd probably classify this as direct to DVD bullshit, and probably would just give it the lowest grade I could ever give a movie. But because it has some decent effects and some tits, 6.1. Which even then I think is kind of being a little generous. So let's get into a few spoilers. Basically, the opening segment is we see these rafters going down these whitewaters, and they come aboard, and they're two guys and two girls, and they start, having sex on the beach. I mean, in the woods. This whole movie kind of takes place in the woods, and almost immediately they start getting picked off by these hillbillies, the mutants of the Wrong Turn series, and there's some pretty good effects there, and we do see some tits. So I was like, wow, this movie's starting off really good. And I was like, the acting's a little shaky, but as long as they keep up the tits and the gore, this will be good. But no, we start getting droughts, droughts of no gore or tits, and we get into the plot. We find out that these convicts are being transferred, and they think that some of the warden thinks that there's going to be a escape plan, so he plants an undercover convict in there, and they go on the bus. They load the convicts onto the bus. And we find out the convicts are planning to escape. There's basically, I believe, a head Latino guy who's going to try to escape, a head white supremacist guy who's working with him, but they're kind of they don't like each other, but they're working together. Then you have like another white guy, then you have another white guy, and then you have another Latino who's undercover. So those are all the prisoners. They get aboard the bus with this white cop and this black cop, and they're driving down the road, and they start getting tailed by this hillbilly's truck, and it's the mutants, and they crash the bus, and basically it becomes a scramble because the convicts kind of take control. They get the guns, and then they're like, they don't kill the cops immediately right off. So they're like, well, we'll just use them as hostages, and they start trying to walk out of the forest, all the whilst being hunted by these mutants. And that's pretty much the plot summary. And like I said, the Latino head guy is just such a joke. He should have he gets double crossed so many times, and he gets punked, and he doesn't kill the people who do it. He has them at his mercy, and he just doesn't kill them, and it's just so unrealistic. But yeah, this would be a hidden gem if it weren't for the terrible script and the terrible acting. This was directed by Declan O'Brien, and it stars the likes of Tom Frederick, Janet Montgomery, Gil Colleran. Nobodies, basically. But that's basically my review. 6.1. Could have been a hidden gem if not for the terrible acting and the terrible script. You may not be bothered by it, so that's why I kind of give it a 6.1, because some people may like this movie. It's got some pretty decent effects, but of course I watched it in very low resolution, so basically if you get this on Blu-ray, maybe the effects will be exposed just being utter bullshit. But anyway, that's my summary. Halfway decent effects, some tits, plagued by a terrible script and god-awful acting. Again, it's called Wrong Turn 3, Left 4 Dead. Okay, thanks, bye.